This week on Gadget, we're bringing Hobbytron home for the holidays. Welcome to Gadget at thetechstop.net, where it's always time to get your geek on. I'm your host, Father Robert Balser of the Society of Jesus. That's the California province of the Jesuits. We're the largest religious order in the Catholic Church, and we're here in the Center for Apostolic Technology in Honolulu, Hawaii, on the campus of the University of Hawaii at the Newman Center. I want to wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving. I hope your weekend was fantastic, a time filled with family, friends, turkey, football, and everything else that goes with the holiday. Hopefully you've not overdosed on tryptophan and your belt fits just about the same as it did before. We've got some new geekware this week. We figured that this would be a sort of grumpy geek-themed show. We know that the geeks out there are always fixing things. We're always fixing networks and computers. We're always doing people a favor. And every once in a while, well, we just want to say, go away. So, dedicated to all you geeks in Geekland on this Thanksgiving, this shirt is for you. If you've ever had this feeling that you've been taken advantage of for your geekdom, well, you need this shirt. And you need to go to ThinkGeek at www.thinkgeek.com. This week's main event comes to us from Hobbytron. Now, you may remember Hobbytron from episode 10 of Gadget when they sent us a few remote control helicopters to play with. This time they've sent us a veritable fleet of vehicles representing land, air, and sea. The Mini Monster electric RC truck is a 1/18th scale, four-wheel drive remote control model. It may seem more like a toy than an RC craft, but it includes several features that are normally found only on the more expensive models. Things like a set of 15 ball bearings in the transmission and transfer cases, steel drive shafts connecting the front and rear drives, a 370 class racing motor, differentials for better handling and steering, an electronic speed control, a micro server for steering, and a 2-channel RC receiver. It may not be in the same class as a $2,000 top-of-the-line radio-controlled nitro-injected model, but it is a well-made starter kit for those who just want to enjoy RC. Except for the 8 AA batteries for the remote, the Mini Monster comes ready to run out of the box. It has a 2-channel pistol grip remote control with servo reversing functions for those who like to customize how they drive. It uses a 7.2-volt NiCad micro battery pack with a quick charger. In use, we got about 15 minutes of hard driving after 30 minutes of charging. Though we couldn't verify the 30 mph top speed claimed by the manufacturer, we have to say that this vehicle is damn fast. One thing we did notice is that the vehicle is top-heavy, meaning that quick turns at high speeds will most likely send it rolling. We also noticed that the steering was slightly off and adjusting the camber was difficult. Still, this truck was a blast to drive. It goes and goes and is ready for fun the minute you get it charged. Not only that, but the vehicle is practically screaming for Uber geeks to hack it up with decorative and functional upgrades. The Mini Monster is available from Hobbytron for $95. For the air component of our review, Hobbytron sent us the Palm Z Silverlit Mini RC Airplane. This diminutive craft is an indoor electric plane, similar to the Pico Z helicopter, a cousin that Hobbytron sent us back in the day. Like the Mini Monster truck, the Pico Z has everything in the pack that you need to run, except for 4 AA batteries. The Palm Z uses a infrared, not a radio-controlled remote, which means that you need to keep the craft in line of sight to control it. The remote also doubles as the charging base. Simply slide the remote into charge mode, plug the Palm Z into the cradle, and let its lithium poly battery charge for a minute or two. The other functions on the remote include channel selection, trim selection, and the ability to turn it on, off, or charge. Once charged, you flip on the power via a small switch in the belly of the plane. The Palm Z is hand-launched. Lightly toss it and it's airborne. Control is tricky. You only have control over the rudder and the throttle. Throttle up and the plane starts to climb. Throttle down and it noses over. The problem is that the sweet spot at which the plane is straight and level is extremely hard to find, and it takes quite a bit of skill to feather the throttle to get it flying the way that you want. We ended up porpoising a lot and crashing it more than a few times. Speaking of crashing, you will crash. A lot. Good thing then that the Palm Z is way more sturdy than the foam body might lead you to believe. It can actually sustain several devastating crashes before you start to see damage, and even then most repairs can be made with clear tape. One thing though, they're not kidding when they write that the Palm Z is for indoor use only. Even the slightest breeze will flip this plane over. With some skill, the Palm Z is capable of some wonderful flight. I guess our ham-fisted geeks just don't have the touch. The Palm Z is available at Hobbytron for $40. Land, air, and sea. We saved the best for last. This is the 1/20th scale EP Racing radio-controlled ready-to-run electric boat. It has a 28-inch long hull, twin screws, twin motors, steel drive shafts, and a top speed of about 20 miles an hour. The boat uses two Type 380 electric motors connected to counter-rotating screws. In line with the drive shafts are a pair of polycarb universal rods. This allows the entire drivetrain to flex, and if there is an accident, the polycarb rods will snap before the drive shafts are damaged. Rather than a rudder, it uses vectored thrust, which is a fancy way of saying that when you turn left, the right propeller spins faster, and when you turn right, well, you get the point. The first time we fired up this boat in the office, it scared the crap out of our office mates. This thing just screams, and that's even before it gets into the water. The hull itself is mostly an empty shell with a shallow hull configuration that lends itself to low draft bodies of water. There is a power switch in the midsection for easy power on and off, and the cockpit can be quickly removed or replaced. The only parts you'll find inside the shell are the sealed electronics pack, motors, drive shafts, and the 7.2 volt sub C-cell battery pack. It is of note to mention that this battery pack uses the same cells and connectors as the Tamiya standard, meaning that you can quick charge the pack with a Tamiya charger or swap it with any other 7.2 volt pack. In practice, a fully charged battery gave us about 12 minutes of continuous runtime, during which time the boat was throwing rooster tails and riding with only its propellers in the water. This thing was a blast to drive. Unfortunately, we know that being a watercraft will limit its use to people who have access to still bodies of water. But if you do, you may want to grab these things. So a few final thoughts about Hobbytron's RC lineup. If you had asked me when I was a kid if it'd be possible to have all of these toys for about $250, I would have laughed in your face. I mean, RC toys were those things that were way out of your price range, really, really hard to put together, and honestly, they were just a little bit out of my league. Hobbytron has done a good job of gathering together some manufacturers that make some pretty quality products. I mean, again, these are not supposed to compete with the $1,000 and $2,000 models, but for what they are, which is just out of the box, ready to run, fun, kickin', tearing little models, they do a great job. If I had to choose between all three of these, I'd probably pick the Mini Monster truck first. I mean, this thing is just, it's fun to drive, and the thing about RC cars and trucks is that you can just drive them anywhere, especially when they're electric, because they're not so noisy, they're not so polluting, and they're just kind of fun to keep around. My second choice would definitely be the EP Racing boat. I mean, here in Hawaii, there are places to run, and even in my former home in California, we had a few lakes where we could just go ahead and take these out and just tear around the lake. But again, it is a limited appeal if you don't have that nice, ready source of still water to rip up every once in a while. My least favorite would be the Palm. Not because it's a bad product, but just because I've come to realize that I'm horrible at flying. Still, there are some people who have been able to do phenomenal things with this, and for $40, it's a nice starter project for anyone who wants to learn the basics about aerodynamics, perhaps learn on something that they can crash a few times before they graduate to something a bit more advanced. If you want to learn anything else about these products, find out where you can get them, or find links for reviews on the internet, you can go to our website at www.thetechstop.net. Click on the Gadget tab and you'll be able to find where you can buy these things and who else has reviewed them. If you want to send us an email message, either about this episode or any of our other episodes, or to suggest products for future episodes, please write us at gadget@thetechstop.net. Don't forget to drop by the Tech Stop to download the high-resolution versions of all of our episodes, and we thank you for supporting us. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Gadget. I've been your host, Father Robert Balacer. This has been the Center for Apostolic Technology in Honolulu, Hawaii. And I'm reminding you that there's no Uber Geek without you.